Welcome to the Real Talk. This is my first video since my break. I miss you guys. Did you miss me? I miss you. I did you. Let me stop. I really needed that break and I'm so happy that you guys are here after my hiatus, even though it didn't feel like I was on a break because I was still regularly posting on social media. But yeah, this is my first time in front of a camera and it feels like I never left. I thought I was gonna be more anxious, but I'm not. Today we're going to be talking about catcalling. And to be quite honest with you, I do not believe it should be catcalling. I believe it should be given the name of what it is, which is harassment or degradation. But I mean, the term is catcalling. That is what you guys know it as. But I am not a cat and I do not wish to be called. Therefore, I need to call it what it is. But like I said, I'm going to be using the term catcalling. Now, I remember being catcalled since I was like 12, maybe even 11. I grew a chest from a very early age. And it was very annoying to deal with this because walking to the store, going to the park, doing very simple things that anybody should be able to do without being harassed was a very hard thing for me to do. I was often scared. I was often intimidated because I knew that as soon as I stepped through the door, someone was going to ask for my number, someone was going to tell me I'm pretty, someone was going to ask me when I'm going to turn 18, which by the way, understand none of this is flattering. None of this is cute. None of this is a compliment. And I understand a lot of men do this thinking it's a compliment. I'm telling you right now, it is not a compliment. It is very scary. It is problematic. It is intimidating. It is very annoying and we really do not like it. A lot of men tend to think that we want this attention and you know, we're fishing for compliments and women like attention and all that, but this is not the attention that I think that you think that we want. So take a look at this video from Insider Edition.
When Ashley Blankenship gets ready for her day, she mentally prepares for what often happens when she heads to work.
Two wild and crazy guys. Nice dress. You look beautiful.
It always makes me feel uncomfortable. Never am I like, oh wow, that makes me feel good. I love that.
He insisted to Arlisa Guerrero that he's harmless and that women don't mind.
It's mild harassment.
Guys give her the once-over as she walks by. Pretty soon, the catcalling starts.
How you doing, sweetheart?
Do you think women appreciate getting complimented like that on the street?
Certain women do. They love attention.
Sir, you just said that a lady was asking for it.
He didn't stick around.
You got a woman walking around looking to get talked to, get somebody to say something. Look what you did, look what you did.
Let me ask you a question.
My daughter wouldn't walk around willing to get yelled at. My daughter walked around conservatively dressed.
I love you, Blue.
Would it be rude to say something on the street to a young lady, sir?
No.
Have you ever met a guy and gone out with a guy that catcalled out to you on the street?
100% no way.
Shout out to the subscriber who sent this to me in my video request form. You guys can always send videos through there. I also have a Discord where you guys can send your video suggestions there as well. Never send it to my email. I'm most likely going to trash it, and plus that is just for serious business inquiries only. Now, honestly, that video had me shocked and appalled. A lot of men seem to think that they are entitled to women's bodies, and that's the main reason I feel like a lot of this is happening. A lot of men seem to think that just because they are men and we are women, that they can do what they want, say what they want, and get away with it because they are stronger, they have more power, and in most situations, since they can overpower us physically depending on the situation, because you know, some girls could whoop some ass, they can literally do what they want in a sinister way of thinking. And this is extremely problematic. Like, that video literally had my jaw on the floor. Like, these people were so bold in catcalling these women in the street, but as soon as they saw the cameras rolling, as soon as they were confronted, as soon as the reporter asked, okay, well, if someone were to comment at your daughter like that, they got mad, they saw the cameras, they were angry, they sat there talking about stuff, oh, well, my daughter wouldn't be walking around like that, you know, she would be decently dressed, etc. And it's like, excuse me, there's nothing indecently wrong with how she's dressed. And even if that were the case, right, I know that's something that a lot of men love to say and a lot of people like to say, you know, no one should be walking around in booty shorts and a tank top, da-da-da. Everyone should be able to wear whatever it is that they want to wear without the fear of harassment, okay? Just like a lot of y'all dusty ass motherfuckers want to walk around with no damn t-shirt and some damn shorts, you should be able to walk around in a tank top and some shorts. It's just problematic. I think the real issue here is that a lot of these men, okay, and sadly, I hate to say it, a lot of y'all mamas ain't teach y'all how to properly respect women. A lot of people spend all of this time teaching these kids how to have manners and how to share their fucking cookies, but a lot of them don't teach these people how to respect respect women, how to respect other people. Do not touch here. Do not say this. Do not call to another human being across the street just because you think they're attractive. Do not go and attack someone just because you think they look good and they ignore you and you think you're entitled to them. Your ego is not more important than your common sense. A lot of people do not spend the time teaching children, teaching people common sense principle. Instead, we teach people all this other mundane shit, which yes, it's important. Okay, I'm not saying these things aren't important, but it's very, very important to teach people key respect for one another. Especially when it comes to these things, we need to start telling women especially and men especially how to respect one another. Now, when it comes to catcalling, a lot of us are just told, okay, just ignore it. It will go away, they will stop. And honestly, that's usually what I do. I just act like I don't hear it. I usually act like I have headphones on, or I act like I'm on the phone, to be quite honest with you. And that usually works. Like up north, usually like nothing really bad happens, or usually at most they'll be like, oh, you ugly bitch, da da da. And yeah, that gets really scary, but I mean, we're kind of used to it. Like niggas will get mad, their ego gets hurt. Now all of a sudden you a hoe, you a bitch, you a slut, you a crackhead, and it's like, okay, I wasn't all of these things, but he was just trying to holler at me 5 minutes ago. Boo hoo. Cry to your mama. You want me to cry too? Here's a tear. I'm still not talking to you and I'm still not giving you my number. Now, understand, sometimes things don't go over that smoothly, if you call that smooth. Some people lose their lives from ignoring a catcall. And this is what happened to 19-year-old student Ruth George, who died in Chicago in 2019. She attended the University of Illinois in Chicago, and she was being catcalled by a man who literally got mad because she ignored him. As we all know, a lot of these men, their egos get bruised when we ignore them. And sadly, a lot of them turn to very drastic measures. Now, very serious trigger warning. If you are really not in a good mental space, do not watch the rest of this video because it's gonna get pretty dark and it's pretty sad. But when she ignored his advances and his catcalling, she followed him into the parking garage, literally put his arm around her neck, threw her into the backseat of her car, proceeded to SA her and R-word her, and she later passed away. And the only reason people were able to find her is because when her parents did not see her home the next day, I believe it was Friday, she usually comes home, they realized that something was wrong. They pinged her phone was in the back seat, and that led police to her body in the back seat of her car. So understand, this could get really, really bad. Some people do not understand that no means no, and they also don't understand that silence means no. And if someone's uninterested, they're uninterested. But even if they are interested, understand catcalling is the most unattractive thing ever. The worst thing you can do to someone that you're interested in is catcall them. Okay, it's extremely distasteful and disgusting, and it's not going to land you a date. Maybe it will in certain circumstances, but a lot of women do not like that. And for the most part, it's pretty damn scary to be catcalled. And what makes it worse is the man that was catcalling her, the name of this man was Donald Thurman, and he actually had a pretty interesting record. He was previously convicted for armed robbery and was out on parole. So my thing is, even if she did, you know, find you cute and give you her number, she probably would have never stayed with you anyway, because that's weird. Okay, that's weird. You ain't even got your life together. You're out on parole. What you gonna offer her? Some ramen? A lot of these men that be doing this catcalling shit and all this goofy shit are dust. A lot of these men that don't even have the respect to come up to you like a human being and say, hey, you're beautiful, I like you, I want to get to know you, what's your number, are dusty. They're not even respectful enough to come up to you and address you like a human being. Even back in the day when there would be a dude calling me and I was single and I thought he was cute, I'd straight up be like, come over here. Like literally, if I was like walking and a dude would be trying to talk to me, I'd be like, you kind of cute. Like, oh, come here. I'd be like, you come here. What the fuck? Like, this is not, no. Or you know what my favorite one be? Where they send a friend. Where they be like, oh, my friend likes you. No, grow the fuck up. Well, tell your friend I don't like that, son. Y'all need to grow the fuck up. I don't understand what type of men y'all mothers are raising, but tell them Ivana the Mademoiselle said y'all doing a bad job, because this is so embarrassing. I don't understand why in the hell people like this are out there. Like, I just don't. I really don't. And I don't understand why you feel so entitled to a woman or to anybody that you will literally take their life just because they ignored your advances. Like, is your ego that bruised? This is a very common occurrence. There's websites dedicated to people who actually get killed from these types of occurrences regularly. I'm going to have to read this off my phone, but I'm going to actually reference the link down below if you still think it's not that serious. In Orlando, Florida, in June 2008, there were 2 cars sitting at a red light with young men in one car, young woman in another. When asked, the young woman refused to give the young men their phone number, and so the men shot at them. One of the women died a few days later from her gun wounds. Mary Spears was shot by a man in 2014 in Detroit, Michigan, after she refused to give him her phone number. A harasser in Florida in 2016 shot a man after the man told him to stop disrespecting his wife. A Chicago man was killed in 2014 by a harasser in front of his 15-year-old daughter after he confronted the man for making inappropriate gestures at her. This is not a game. This is not funny, and too many of y'all, again, feel entitled. And what's worse is, it's not even just the people being catcalled that are being victimized. It's people that are bystanders. It's people trying to protect people from this type of behavior. Can you imagine someone's catcalling your daughter and you go and you tell the person, hey, don't talk to my daughter like that, and they shoot you? What is up with y'all? Like, this is an issue, okay? And listen, I'm not trying to man bash here, but this is a man problem because it's mainly men doing this, okay? You do not see women posted up on the corner like, hey daddy, how are you? And even if they were, I'm very sure y'all would like that shit because that would boost y'all damn ego, okay? There's something fucking psychologically wrong with a lot of y'all men in this world, and it's scary, okay? It's really, really scary because if you wouldn't want anyone treating your mother, your sister, or your daughter like that, what makes you think it's okay to treat other women like this? To go around screaming at people that they look good, or that their butt is fat, or that their titties are good, or screaming sexual advances at them, or saying that you want to go on a date with them, or screaming or hollering at them to get their number. And when they refuse, you get violent. Who the hell do you think you are? Now, of course, a lot of this is an ego thing. I've asked a lot of dudes like why they do this because like I just be so curious, and a lot of dudes that I know personally don't do it, but they know other dudes that do it, and I wanted to know. I'm like, why y'all species? Why do y'all think I'm mad I said species, but I don't care, they be saying that shit about us too. I'm like, why do y'all like to do this? Like, why do y'all think it's okay? And he was like, I mean, a lot of it is an ego boost for them. A lot of them think that like it's going to make them feel better, especially if the girl actually does think that he's attractive. It's an easier way to approach women. Some of them do feel a little insecure and it's harder for them to approach women directly, and I'm like, I could see that, but why don't they see that it's scary? like I don't know. I guess for them, they would probably see it as, okay, like I'm not a scary dude, I'm not about to do nothing to her, because I mean in a lot of cases nothing happens, but like it's just weird. Like, why not think that that's weird? So then I was like, all right, so what's the other reasons? And another reason that came up even when I looked it up was that some of them think that it's a genuine compliment, and a lot of us just love to fish for attention. The way we dress, the way we act, putting on makeup, doing our hair, it's for men. It's not for anything else. And this was also reiterated in the Insider Edition video. Now, it's definitely chopped up because of copyright reasons, but it would definitely be linked down below. I'm telling you this right now, if you're a man and you're watching this and you think women just walk around doing their hair and their makeup for men, you are sadly mistaken. I will agree, there are some women that do literally get pretty just to find a man. They'd be like, you know what, I'm going to the club, let me look nice to see what I can snag outside. Does that mean every single time they go out they're trying to get the attention of a man? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I got a whole man and I'm not sitting there putting on makeup or whatever just to get attention, man. You think I put on lipstick and eyelashes just to get y'all attention? Y'all not even my demographic. Y'all literally only like maybe 20 to 30% of my audience, which is shocking to me because that's a lot for a woman, especially for I talk about. You guys must like me anyway, which is great, thank you. But it's just weird because it's like, I don't know, like I think it's been a strong emphasis that women do things for male attention, and that's a narrative that does need to stop. I feel like to some regard it's true, but not necessarily, because there's plenty of women that don't go outside for male attention, like that don't put on makeup, that literally just wears sweatpants and a t-shirt, and men are still sitting there whistling at her. I remember I used to go outside in straight sweats, and it's rare for me to do that, but during COVID, like I was really dressed crazy. Like I used to be going out crazy because I was like, man, fuck it, the world's gonna end. And people would still be trying to get at me with a mask on and everything. I'm like, you don't even see my face. How are you trying to bag me right now? Like, how? wow. You know, so it's just like, no, I feel like at this point, y'all just be hollering at anything with a pulse, anything with a vagina. I would love for a man to comment, like, make it make sense to me, because most men that I know are like of high caliber and don't catcall, and I don't think they ever will, because they're kind of bougie and they're like, catcall for what? Bitches come to me. Like, just like a lot of my friends are like that. They're like, I'm not approaching no nigga, niggas come to me. Like, personally, I get it. So it's like very interesting to know that like there are some guys that really think that we're just out here vying for their attention when we look pretty, when we look good, when we doll ourselves up. And it's like, but how about if I'm with my boyfriend and I just left him for 10 minutes? You think I'm doing that shit for you? Like, how do you think? Like, it's weird. Even when I was single, a lot of dudes would literally think that I had a man because I was dolled up. And it's like, that's interesting. It's like, huh, to be like, oh, you're too pretty to be single. It's like, and that was something I really hated. I really hated that a lot. I really do think it's something like with the aura and the energy you put out. I've definitely talked about that before. I think it's something that we cultivate over time, but I feel like men can smell, like they smell desperation, they smell insecurity, and they smell if you have a nigga or not, and they smell if you have relationship problems. So I feel like now it rarely ever happens to me. Men never ask me if I'm single or not. I don't know if it's the way I carry myself, but like back in the day when I was single, it was like niggas knew. And they would just poke at me like, oh, you too pretty to be single. I don't know, you got a man? It's like, what the fuck? But I would lie, but it was like, it's like they always knew I was lying. It was so weird. Like, I would lie just to get them like out of my face. Of course, we have the whole patriarchy. It's a man's world. Men can do what they want. Outside is for the men. I've heard this whole outside is for the men thing for too long, and it's really annoying. A lot of people think that when you step outside, you're stepping in a man's world, and yeah, you should be able to handle what comes with that. If you are a woman, you shouldn't be walking around by yourself because anything happens to you. You guys are probably like, nigga, what? I've heard this said a few times online, not necessarily in person. Nope. I've heard men say this in the bar. Go to a bar one time, like, and just like sit near men and hear what they talk about. Never sit at a bar by yourself as a woman though, because men will hit on you. It's very annoying. No matter if you take it or not. Just listen to and chime into what men be talking about, especially when they single with it, because they be saying all types of goofy. And it's crazy because like one time I was sitting at a bar and these two dudes was trying to talk to this girl, and the girl kind of ignored them, and it was like, oh, I don't know why she ignoring us for. This is a man's world and this is a man's bar, and I kid you not. And they went to this whole conversation of how women shouldn't be able to walk around any way they want to without understanding that men are gonna be tempted. And this goes into that whole purity culture situation, the whole chastity situation of how they feel like women tempt men and women are demonic, and the whole Eve situation, how Eve ate the apple and said Eve ate the apple, we all evil and we all tempt men, and since we tempt men, therefore we have to be I don't know, punished, I guess, for the rest of our lives. Legit bullshit. Well, why should catcalling be a crime? Well, catcalling should be a crime because did you not hear everything I said in this video? Not only is it scary, intimidating, annoying, and problematic, it does lead to lots of other crimes as well. Murder, harassment, the R word, all types of stuff, SA. So it's like, I don't understand why it's not illegal, but shout outs to the places who have made it a legitimate crime. There are places such as certain countries that have made it like a legitimate crime to catcall, and that is great. America, where are you? Hello. New York especially, fuck, where are you? Like, I don't understand why this is not a legitimate crime. There's certain things that I think that should be legitimate crimes that aren't. Cyber crime should definitely be a legitimate crime, which I think it is in certain aspects, but like catfishing I think should be a crime because it really does destroy lives as well. Oh my god, those romance scams, I think that should be a crime. Like, yeah, some people are just dumb, but like some people really do not deserve to get like $100,000 scammed from them. But I mean, you guys understand, like, I feel like certain things lead to other things that could have been prevented if certain things were illegal already and people were afraid to do it out of repercussion of being charged. And it's just sad that there's girls as young as like 11 that are being catcalled. And of course, if there's kids that are being catcalled, this leads to underage kids being with adults. And that is scary in itself, because what happens if a 12-year-old is okay with being with a 30-year-old man that's catcalling her? What happens if she is interested, okay? What happens if she falls for that because she's young and she's naive and she doesn't know any better? What then? Like, that's disgusting. That's scary. Like, just think of what happens. And I'm very sure there's a lot of people that ended up in situations like that, and there's no laws to protect those children. So I really think that catcalling can lead to a lot of horrible things, but lot of people are kind of like overlooking it because, oh, it's just some compliment. It's not a compliment. It's problematic. It's scary, and we don't like that shit. Bottom line, nobody should be afraid to go outside just because they're pretty. That's just what it is. I'm going to be harassed by multiple people. People are going to ask me for my number. And I know there's going to be some toxic individuals out there that are like, okay, well, don't wear makeup. Don't look so pretty. Cover up. And it's like, I am telling you, doesn't matter what you're wearing. I would literally have a mask on, a whole sweat thing on. You can't see my chest. You can't see my butt. You can't see my eyes. Okay? And people's always like, oh my God, can I have your number? So it's like, at this point, it's ridiculous. You know, if you're going to sit there and make excuses for this behavior with, oh, it's because you're pretty. Oh, it's because your butt is out. Oh, it's because your chest is out. That's problematic. I understand that clearly, yeah, if you're walking around naked, people are going to say things to you, but that's not necessarily the point. Yeah, I think that's common sense. That's not the problem here. The problem is that it doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter how pretty you are. People should not be harassing you every single time you go outside just because you look some type of way. And even if that's going to be the case, they shouldn't be getting violent with you just because their ego is bruised because you ignore them. And even if that's the case, it should be something that they should be able to go to jail over, or at least charged with, or at least ticketed. Something. Like, something needs to be done because there's too many people that have lost their lives because of street harassers and catcalling and everything else. And this actually needs to be stopped. With that being said, comment down below. Have you been a victim of catcalling? I think we all have. Raise your hand. What is your story? Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, do all that. Follow me on social media if you guys would like a social media consultation. Follow my business, Media Hustle. Make sure you guys schedule a consultation down below. Get your merchandise from the shop. Oh, and of course, follow the vlog channel because lots of things going on over there. Story times, vlogs. I'm talking a lot of shit about my family or whatever. Letting the cat out the bags. Like, share, subscribe. Do all of that. And I'm gonna see y'all next time. Bye!